I'm Annie. I'm Annie.
I'm Theo, and we're Wolf Alice.
Hi.
Half of Wolf Alice, the best half of Wolf Alice.
It's going really well. We're playing kind of the biggest venues we've played around the UK. It's exciting. And the crowds have been so good every night. Lots of mosh pits. Lots of, it's been great.
We're going on tour, well we're on tour now, we're on tour for about 3 months. So this tour finishes at we do 4 nights at the Forum in London. And then like pretty much the day after we go out to America, and it's our headline tour with Slave supporting us, which will be a dream to tour with them. Then we do some shows with churches, Coachella happens, and then we go out with the 75 for a month. And then we come back and hopefully we'll try and write some songs and we'll WD-40 all the doors in the Barrowlands. I mean, within music, I never looked for anyone necessarily to be promoting equality. It's based on music for me.
Yeah.
I've never, but I mean, yeah, any like established female artist that has done something on their own trajectory and then that's respectable, when it sometimes can be difficult. So like Patti Smith is probably a good example of that, but that's not necessarily a feminist thing, more like a music thing.
Well, it is just what happened. It's important in the sense that it's a hard question, but it's not something that you are gonna ignore. But it shouldn't be. It shouldn't be why people dislike you or like you. But it's it definitely is part of who we are. It's not an ignorable factor, especially when there are fewer bands with women in them at the moment.
I see less playlist culture at radio and more people supporting different bands and not having to play a certain quota. I think that would be really cool.
I'd like to see the prices of tickets be more affordable. I'd like to see
more underage shows that are, if you're a low-level touring band and your fan base is mainly young, it's really important that you can play like a 200 capacity venue that caters to 14-year-olds. Maybe they're your main fan base, but a lot of venues have got alcohol licenses that are really restricted by the council. It's important that that changes, because not everyone is going to go to see a band if they play like 1,000 cap room. That's where it kind of becomes all ages, especially in America. That's even worse. So that'd be cool. And like £1 million.
I think the music industry could do with being more diverse in the sense, less structural inequality within the industry. I mean, unlike a lot of things right now.
Physically see something happening at your gig and you think it's like upsetting to you, and you would in your everyday life disagree with what you see is happening. It's like any environment, and you have the capacity to use a microphone, you can stop that. So if you can see it.
I think you should call someone out if you see being disrespectful.
And that transcends to every aspect of life though. It's not even just like if you see that on the street you wouldn't walk past it just because you're on stage and it's a performance. It's not any different. I think it's been an issue. It's been like a really age-long issue. I think you're aware of that happening, and I think it's not just about music. It's about feeling safe in a crowd, isn't it? Because that's where.
Yeah, it's not just gigs. It's club nights.
I can imagine if you go to like a big DJ Fabric club event and there's loads of people, that kind of thing. Carnival in London, that's a prime example where things like that like peak quite a lot. And I think it's that thing of people thinking they can use crowds to get away with something, which obviously we don't condone. I don't know anyone who condones it. But it's important, we were saying earlier, that venues are able to deal with that. It's not necessarily a reflection on a promote. It's within the venue how the security are trained to deal with stuff like that. It's really tricky. Like, it's quite hard to find anyone to. You shouldn't really play the blame game. It's like, it's difficult, isn't it?
I mean, that's a hard one. I think you can voice how against you are.
But physically we're not going to start like setting up, because we're busy being a band in a sense.
Well, I'd do everything I could within ability to make sure that didn't happen, but you know what you can do. But you know, like you say, if I was to ever see something like that, I would, you know, would call that person out, and you know, they wouldn't be allowed back at our shows.
Yeah. I think it's specifically with what you guys are doing. It seems more, it's, you know, kind of an indie-ish based thing. It'd be good if artists that are playing massive stadiums and arenas and stuff were also to voice their opinion on that. And I'm sure they would share exactly the same opinion.
What you're doing is making people aware who perhaps weren't before that this kind of thing goes on, so people can look out for it, and also just show, you know, making it clear that you can't get away with it if it's going to happen, you know. But you know, it's going to, if bands are looking out for it, or you know, bands are speaking up about how if they would ever see that you wouldn't be allowed back at one of our shows, people who ever had the inclination to do something like that are probably going to be more scared.
Yeah.
So.
It's just like, I think that's an education thing and training, you know, like proper training to deal with those situations, certain telltale signs of like looking out for it, awareness. I suppose, I don't know whether this is the right thing, but maybe more female security staff that are able to deal with that, because, you know, if you're trying to console someone that's had something, yeah, it can be difficult to, if there's just like a load of really big bald security guys.
Well, making sure that people know that, you know, like making examples of people who, you know, you can't get away with it, you're going to be punished.
Yeah, because what they're revelling in is the anonymity of it, innit? Like being amongst a crowd and doing something. So and if you're called out and made an example of, that's probably going to be like,
it's going to set an example.
Fuck, mate, you've just been made an example of like someone who touches people up in crowds. I don't know what I would say.
I would hope that it wouldn't put you off. If you were assaulted at a show, then I would hope that wouldn't put you off from coming again, because that's a shame. It's not, you know.
It's not fair
It's not fair that someone else took that away from you.
It's like any selfish act, and if it happens in a certain environment, hopefully that doesn't deter you or give you some kind of phobia, because that would be a real tragedy of taking away someone's enjoyment. I think they need to
learn some empathy skills and how to step into other people's shoes.
Probably need a re-education of how to conduct themselves, and probably they need some kind of like counsel as well, but in a different format. You know, if you think that's something that's acceptable by society, then we're confused. But I don't think you tell anyone to fuck off. It's not going to solve anything. Yeah, I think this is a constant thing that we get asked specifically because we're a female-fronted band. It is a facet of what's going on in society. There's big board companies where women are being paid completely different salaries. There's a disparity between those two things, which seems ridiculous. You know, case of the X-Files stars, where she was being paid like £100,000 less she was offered or something. It's across the board, and this is a reflection of it in one industry, and it should be that should be a contribution to the big conversation about the mistreatment, this misogynism that hasn't disappeared at all. Still
Casual misogynism. I don't know. I mean, I've thought about this so many times, and having been asked it a lot. But you know, I'm interested in anyone who's the other in anything. You know, if it's someone. You know, I'm interested in what it's like to be a female crew member, or you know, anyone who's the minority in something. I'm interested in it, and I would like to ask, and so I can understand why people. It's a question that pops up all the time, you know. Let's try and sound as chipper as that. We all valid, and we support Girls Against. Yes.